For over 2 decades, being a New York Knicks fan required an unusual amount of optimism. One of the richest franchises in sports, the most famous arena in basketball, and a fan base that never stopped believing, and almost nothing to celebrate. Every summer felt familiar. A superstar rumor there, a flashy headline, and a promise that this time would be different. And every spring, disappointment. The Knicks weren't just losing games, bro. They were becoming irrelevant at this point. Between 2001 and 2022, the New York Knicks just won 1 playoff series. 1 in 21 years. Some fans graduated high school, graduated college, got married, started families before seeing another meaningful playoff run. Then in the summer of 2022, the Knicks made a move that got laughed at across the league. Listen to this. 4 years, $104 million to a point guard who had never made an all-star team, a player many believe wasn't even worth the money, a player some thought was just simply riding the coattails of Luka Doncic. That player is Jalen Brunson. And 3 years later, the Knicks were back in the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999. This is the story of how one signing changed everything. To understand why Jalen Brunson mattered, you have to understand what the Knicks had become. After the Patrick Ewing era ended, New York spent years searching for shortcuts, right? Instead of doing it patiently, they chased the quick fixes. They went for big names, former stars, splashy trades. The basketball equivalent of putting the duct tape on leaking pipe and hoping for the best, right? It was a Stephon Marbury, Steve Francis, Eddie Curry, Tracy McGrady, Andrea Bognarni. The names changed over and over and over again, but the results didn't. Even when the Knicks acquired Carmelo Anthony, they never became a true championship contender. The cycle just repeated itself over and over again. Hope, hype, disappointment, repeat. Hope, hype. I mean, you get what I'm trying to say. By 2022, Knicks fans weren't asking for a championship no more. They were just asking for competence. And that's exactly what the franchise finally decided to pursue, right? Meanwhile, in Dallas, Jalen Brunson was quietly becoming one of the NBA's most overlooked players. He wasn't a top recruit. He wasn't a lottery pick. In fact, he was selected 33rd overall in the NBA draft, the 2018 NBA draft. 32 players were chosen before this guy. Today, many of them would have traded their careers with Brunson in a heartbeat. He didn't overwhelm defenders with athleticism. He didn't have jaw-dropping highlights, and he definitely wasn't the biggest name on his own team. That belonged to Luka. Which is understandable because most players would love to be Robin next to Batman. But every season, Brunson improved. His scoring increased, his confidence grew, his decision-making sharpened. Then came the 2022 playoffs. With Doncic missed game against Utah, Brunson suddenly had the spotlight. 41 points in game 2.
Pick and roll action.
Back half of the fourth quarter. Brunson to the paint. Timeout, Utah.
31 points in game 3.
Brunson against Conley. Got a 3 to shoot. Brunson, he just can't be stopped.
24 points in game 4.
3. Jalen Brunson with Doncic.
Dallas wins the series. And for the first time, people started asking a different question. Maybe Brunson wasn't a role player. Maybe he was waiting for his own team. Is that a stretch? Yeah. When the free agency opened in 2022, New York made its move. 4 years, $104 million. The reaction was immediate.
Jalen Brunson isn't the answer.
It's an awful idea.
And for what? To go all in hopes of signing Jalen Brunson?
And I worry that they're
They're going to look at
Yes.
Jalen Brunson. They're like, wait, we spent $27 million a year on this?
And by the way, he's not a 1. I'm not even sure he's a real 2.
The saddest sweepstakes ever. The Jalen Brunson sweepstakes.
To be fair, the skepticism wasn't completely unreasonable. Brunson had never been to an All-Star game, never finished near the top MVP voting, never been the face of a franchise. The Knicks were betting their future on just potential alone. And for a team of New York's history, that was risky. But what people missed was this. The Knicks weren't paying for what Brunson had done. They were paying for what Brunson was about to become. And that turned out to be a bargain. Transformation wasn't dramatic at first. It was something much more important: consistency. The Knicks became organized. They became disciplined, reliable. They executed better late in games. They stopped beating themselves, and for the first time in years, they had a clear identity. Brunson wasn't just scoring points. He was controlling games. He was setting the pace, making smart decisions, holding teammates accountable. The Knicks finally had something very successful every team needs: a leader. Someone who could calm the chaos when things got tight. Someone who wanted the ball when the pressure was the highest. And perhaps more importantly, someone who wasn't intimidated by New York. Madison Square Garden has humbled plenty of talented players. Brunson embraced it. In his first season, the Knicks won 47 games and advanced to the second round of the playoffs. Suddenly, the Garden was like, they was alive again, and opposing teams could feel it too, right? Then came the leap. Brunson didn't just improve, he exploded. The player critics called overpaid became one of the league's most dangerous offensive weapons. His scoring climbed, his leadership grew, his confidence became contagious. Night after night, this dude delivered. Doesn't matter if it was a nationally televised game, playoff game, packed arena, big moment. The bigger the stage became, the better he seemed to play. Funny how that works. The same fans who asked, wait, how much they pay dude? Are asking now, who is this guy making less than some of these other contracts? Brunson wasn't just improving doubters wrong, he was changing expectations. For years, Knicks fans dreamed about trading for a superstar. Instead, they watched one emerge right in front of them. The biggest impact wasn't the points. It wasn't the assists. It wasn't even the playoff victories. It was what Brunson represented. For years, players around the league viewed New York as unstable, a place filled with pressure and uncertainty. Now they saw something different. A vision, a plan, a team that knew exactly who it was. The Knicks stopped chasing shortcuts. They stopped searching for miracles, and they did what they should have did at the beginning: build. And because of that, everything changed. The front office gained credibility, the coaching staff gained trust, the roster gained belief. Most importantly, the fans gained hope. Real hope. Not the kind that disappears by February, or not the kind that survives in June, right? Basketball history is filled with franchise-changing moments. A draft pick, a trade, a legendary performance, a championship. For the New York Knicks, one of those moments arrived in the summer of 2020. Not the fireworks, not the blockbuster trade, not the superstar announcement, just the point guard signing the contract. That's it, that's all. But it was a move that many people mocked, a move many people doubt, a move many people got completely wrong. 3 years later, the Knicks reached the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999. Not because they found shortcuts, not because they finally found the right foundation. The New York Knicks spent decades searching for the biggest name in the room. What ultimately changed their future wasn't the loudest move, it was the smartest one. A second-round pick, a 6'2" guard, a player the league underestimated, and a player who transformed one of basketball's most franchises. Jalen Brunson didn't just change the Knicks, he brought them back.